Welcome to Learning to Glow, a show about wellness, skin health, and self-development. I'm your host, Jess. I'm a mom, entrepreneur, and skincare expert. I'm so excited to share tips on how to achieve healthy skin and bring amazing guests in the field of health, fitness, aging gracefully, and personal growth. Let's explore all different ways we can take care of ourselves as women, both inside and out, to truly shine. So let's get glowing. Hi everyone, so glad you're here with me today. We have a great episode for you. It is all about modern unwinding, better sleep, rituals, all the things we love to talk about on Learning to Glow. I have guest Emily Bennett. She is the founder of Sante Blends, which is a functional alcohol-free powder. It's used to help you relax and feel calmer in about 15 minutes without sugar and all of the negative side effects that you get from that daily, nightly ritual of wine. She shares her journey of becoming a mom and wanting to switch the way she looked at rituals in the evening and doing something that was more serving to her health and her stress levels. This shift ultimately led her to create this company that she's going to be talking about with us today. And I just love how we talk about sleep in this episode because it's something that is so important to our health, and we've been talking about it a lot lately on the podcast, and I love her take on it. How cutting that alcohol out has transformed not only her sleep, but just her evening rituals. And she shares what she does personally and how we can take drinks and mocktails and make them fun and make it its own thing where we can replace it with some other habits that are the best for us. She also has offered our listeners 25% off her product with code GLOW25. You can check out the show notes. It'll all be there. You can find the link and everything that you need. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. I can't believe it's March already. This year is like starting to speed up a little bit, and we're getting into some warmer weather, which is nice for a lot of us. We have some really great interviews coming up this month, so make sure that you are subscribed to my free newsletter. You can sign up at simplyjessskincare.com, and I just do one email a week releasing the episode and maybe one skincare tip or something that can help us in our health and our wellness. And you can also subscribe to Learning to Glow anywhere you listen to podcasts. So thank you so much for being here. And here is Emily. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show today. We have Emily Bennett with us. Welcome to Learning to Glow.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here and to tell you more about Sante Blends.
Yes, I'm so excited you're here. Before we get into Sante Blends, let's talk about you. Please share a little bit about yourself and how you got into what you're doing now, what it is that you do.
Sure, of course. So my name is Emily Bennett, and I am the founder of Sante Blends. We create functional rituals for modern life. And our first product is a alcohol-free powdered mix that you can essentially add into any drink, and you have a noticeable calm within about 15 minutes. It has no alcohol, no sugar, and of course, no hangover, no next day fog. Before I ventured into creating Sante Blends, I actually started my career in investment banking, and I quickly realized that wasn't the path that I wanted to take. So I decided to pursue something that I was really passionate about, and that was luxury and retail. And specifically, I eventually went over to the digital side. I ended up working for global luxury brands and did that for over a decade. And then, I sort of took some time, after starting a family and becoming a mom, my relationship with alcohol and with stress changed. I no longer felt that I could have a drink and then wake up the next morning and deal with my two young kids that, are very rambunctious. And, but I was still looking for that reward at the end of the day, something to help me unwind, provide that end cap, and really make me feel like I could just let go. And after, researching the space, the non-alcoholic space, the supplement space, I really didn't find anything out there that really fulfilled the need that I was looking for. And that's really how Sante Blends was born.
So I'd love to talk more about your story. And I think this will resonate with a lot of people that listening, a lot of women, especially the moms.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about after you became a mom and you're like, okay, it's not feeling as great waking up not being fully alert when you have little children to take care of. And
Yeah.
tell me, like, as before having kids, what was your relationship with alcohol like? Did it change once you had kids? And I know a lot of people talk about this, and we've talked about it on the show before, but there's that like mommy wine culture that's so powerful. I feel like, especially, and I don't know how old your kids are, but when my kids were born, that was it. Like, it was really powerful, really strong, all the shirts and all the hats. You know what I mean? Like, it was just so everywhere. I'd love to hear your perspective on that.
Yeah. So my kids are still young. I have a 1.5-year-old and a 3.5-year-old. So I actually, as soon as while I was, obviously in between having the kids and early stages, I was not drinking just because I was nursing. But right after, I kind of went back to my routine. And before I had kids, I was working in high pressure jobs. And I was really having, like, I would say, a glass of wine or a drink, like maybe three nights during the week, and then also on the weekends. And it was really a way for me to just stop my mind racing about work, about all the things I have to do, and it was a way to just check out for a moment and just relax, and a reward to myself also. And when I had kids, and I sort of was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to that routine, and just and I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't have that glass of wine and then wake up the next morning and feel energized to be with my kids, feeling clear headed. I sort of never had that like mommy wine culture. It was sort of like my prior life. And then when I became a mom, I decided that was something I couldn't do anymore. So I still, I'm not completely sober. I still have, a glass of wine here and there, champagne if if there's a special, occasion, but I don't feel great after drinking. So I really resort to Sante blends, or something just, non-alcoholic. So
I love that you're talking about that, because I feel it is true. And there's a lot of things that we say, I want something to take the edge off. You're saying it's kind of like, okay, this is the end of the day. I can pour a glass of wine and then I can shut that part of the day off and like relax a little bit.
yeah.
And coming up with an alternative for that is so powerful, because it is something that can be risk-free. You're not going to have the negative side effects of
Yeah.
the wine if you're doing something like a non-alcoholic, or something
Mhm.
that has even not just not bad for you, but something that's actually good for you and helps you get into
Exactly.
that state.
Yes, yes, yes. All these ingredients. I mean, the primary purpose is the ingredients in Sante blends. The primary purpose is for relaxation. However, there's also all these other benefits that have been studied and are currently being studied, that are just positives. Some of the ones that I always talk about are like improved sleep, improved mood, improved sociability. But there's also ashwagandha has been also studied for increasing your VO2 max, which for people that are athletic and trying to increase their lifespan, like VO2 max is a key indicator, and that's also been studied to help improve that. So there's just so many benefits to these ingredients, and it starts with calm and relaxation and taking that edge off. But yes, there's also all these other positive things that they help with. So they're really great ingredients.
So tell us, I want to talk about sleep too,
Yes.
because, we've
Okay.
talked about this 100 times on my podcast, because it's one of the most important things that we can do for our health. And
Totally.
if your sleep is tanking, your health is going to follow, especially as you said. It's not just that we've had kids and we can't take the wine anymore. We're also getting older, and our
Mhm.
bodies don't process things the same, and it's harder. Recovery can be harder, and especially if
Yes.
you don't get the sleep. And I think that's one thing that people are really starting to realize with like a daily alcohol habit, is how detrimental alcohol is for sleep. So I'd love to talk about that. When you pulled back and stopped doing that, nightly ritual with the alcohol, what happened with your sleep?
Yes. Well, my sleep improved tremendously. Aside from the fact that I still wake up from my kids waking up in the middle of the night, I feel
Yes.
like my sleep was more restful. When the times where they don't wake me up in the middle of the night, I have actually a very restful sleep. As with alcohol, even if you fall asleep quickly, you wake up and you have a headache, and then you need water, and you just feel like it's like the worst sleep ever. And with Sante blends, they're actually also been studied to help promote better sleep. So, a deeper sleep, good quality sleep. And my sleep has definitely seen, I don't have a sleep tracking app, and actually, I don't use Apple Watch anymore, but I definitely know that my sleep has improved and I wake up more refreshed. Since not really drinking and since using Sante blends.
Well, what are some of the other ingredients that you think make that happen with the Sante blends? With the
So
sleep?
yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I don't want to speak, I obviously I'm very familiar with the ingredients. I don't want to offhand. I don't know which ones are specifically, helping for sleep. I know ashwagandha definitely is one of them. We also have GABA and L-theanine, which have also been proven to help with sleep. And then we also have passion flower, linden, magnolia bark, and kava. To be honest, like all of them, I mean, there's a spectrum of like relaxation and sleep, and I think a lot of them help to promote both. I don't know offhand which ones have the most clinical proof of supporting sleep, but they all, I would say, the formula altogether helps promote sleep. I would say also though, it's not a sleep inducing product. Like it's not made to, help with sleep, similar to other products out there that are purposely designed to help you, fall into sleep and then stay asleep. This is, not intoxicating. It's going to help you feel like you took the edge off and help you feel relaxed, but it's not going to make you sleepy. So I don't want to also imply that these ingredients will make you like sleepy or fall asleep. They just they help with quality sleep and just relaxing your body and your brain to help you feel relaxed and more at ease.
Okay. Oh, that's good. So it's like you don't have to just have it at night then if it's not designed to help you sleep.
No, I mean,
it'll help the quality, but it won't make you sleepy.
Totally. It will not make you sleepy. And, I think that the best use case is in the evenings, similar to that glass of wine, but it's not meant to be taken, right before you go to sleep to help you, fall asleep and stay asleep. I think, there's people that I think do that. And sometimes I take it, towards like the later half of the night, just to help me like unwind and just stop those, racing thoughts, and help me get into that sleep mode. But it's not really like a sleep inducing product.
Okay, that's good to know. So the next question I wanted to ask you is about rituals, because I feel like that's how you started this conversation. Like talking about how we can have habits and rituals and they can either be serving us or not. And you've realized the wine habit wasn't serving you. And so I'd love to know how your evenings look now. Like what's your ritual? And you seem like a healthy person. Do you do other things to help yourself get into that frame of mind where you're like, okay, it's time to relax and wind down for the evening? What else do you do with your routine?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I mean, I thank you for saying that. I do. Health is been always a priority for me. Whether or not I've been working on this company, it's always been number one. I always have really cared what I put into my body and how I treat my body. So it's been something always top of mind. In terms of a ritual, so I'm pretty simplistic, as you know. I think you have kids as well. Like, there's not a lot of time to do these like lengthy rituals. Even once my kids are asleep and in bed, like I like to simplify. Like, there's so much stuff to do, and I want to do things that make me feel good, but also are not overly complex. So what I really like, so lately I've been having, and especially in the cold weather, I live in New Jersey, so it's been pretty cold here. And I like to put Sante blends in my favorite right now is either apple cider, like a hot mulled apple cider, or with tea. So the great thing about the product is it can go into hot or cold, and it can literally be mixed into anything. So whatever you already love drinking, this can be mixed into that and, adds that functional benefit. So I like to, mix it in and sip it slowly. I've been, reading, I just finished a book that, I like to read books that helps me just get, relax and just help me, not doom scroll or like, continue emailing, for work. So I like to have have Sante blends with like a hot drink, read a book. And, I mean, candles for me and like scents also make me feel relaxed. So right now I have a candle going. I use that as a way, just not only in the evenings, but also throughout the day. But I would say that's pretty much it. Like I don't have, I like to have like a sweet snack, but other than that, it's really just like, calming myself down, reading a book, having something that can help that my brain like stop racing. So Sante blends with usually some tea or apple cider is kind of my latest. But aside from the evening, for me, like staying active is really important. So finding the time to go to the gym and do weights and also some exercise is really also important for me, just in general, in terms of health and wellness.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, the fitness part, because you did mention there's some benefits to Sante Blend with your VO2 max and different things like that. So what do
Yeah.
you find is your favorite type of exercise? If you're going to go to, I don't know if you go out or do it at home, but like what's your go-to for fitness?
So when I treat myself, I usually do like a cycle class. Like I love Soul Cycle or Cycle Bar. It just amps me up. Like I love the energy of having people around me, and just sort of getting motivated by the people around me. But I don't do that every day. I don't. I mean, I don't have anywhere that's super close by. I just usually go to the gym, and I live in a building, and I go to the gym, and I usually do. Lately, I've just been doing like an elliptical machine and some weights, just to as you get older, they always say you got to do weights. So just been doing that. So pretty simple.
Yeah. I feel like that's if there's one thing I've learned on this podcast from all the people that have been on, you got to do weights. It's
Yes.
like, as we are getting older, that is just something, all my experts, strength training is like super important.
Mm-hmm.
And what about walking? Are you a fan of walking?
I love walking. I mean, I lived in Manhattan for 15 years. And part of the reason why I love living there is the walkability. I love being able to get outside, not have to get in a car, and just, use that as part of my exercise routine. When I had, when my kids were younger, I used to always take advantage of like going on a walk and using that as a way for me to, listen to a podcast and have them in the stroller. But I try to walk. I live in Jersey City now. So I try to walk wherever I can possibly, and really only get in the car when I need to.
That's so lucky. I live in Orange County and everything is very spread out. And so we don't walk places. Like we don't go anywhere but by car. And it's,
Yeah. It's a
unfortunately, it's
different
very
life,
sad.
but you also have amazing weather, right? So
Yes.
you don't have
Yes.
the cold and the snow and the rain and the fog. I mean, there's fog, but
Yeah, we've got fog and we've got rain. So I feel like this has been the rainiest season, like a couple of years ever. But yeah, we can't complain too much. I mean, I still will. I'll still complain about the weather, even though it's so good compared to the rest of the world for sure. But yeah, I love being able to, I'm a big walker too. And,
Mhm.
I'll go out and make time to walk. But I love the idea of just being able to walk places and go to eat and, pick up your stuff and go to the store. I'd love to be able to do something like that. So, okay, I could talk about walking. We talk about it a lot. And I feel like it's not just something that we talk about for our health, but it's not just the exercise part of it, it's the being outdoors. So I always like to talk about that because there's so many benefits to being outdoors. And they talk about that, back to sleep. It's the circadian rhythm of our bodies and getting outside and seeing the sunlight in the morning and the evening and like how important that is. So I feel like that is on the same topic of having rituals, having things where you can just make them a part of your daily life so that it can help your overall health. And I feel like one of my biggest focuses in the last year has been how can I get the sleep improved? And I know that doing that walking and being outside and helping all of those different things will help improve my sleep. And I am a tracker. I do track my sleep. So
Okay.
it's very interesting to see what did I do yesterday when my score tanked. And I do drink too. I don't drink very often, but when I do, that's the first thing that is affected. Like my sleep score tanks. And it could be just one glass.
Totally. Yes. I know. It's interesting how your body, especially once you stop drinking it that often, like one glass can just do it and just throws you off. So yeah, I totally hear you. And I do think, yes, getting outside, getting fresh air, getting exercise, in addition to, if you need something else to help you, just have that, take the edge off. Some people need that, but I think, getting exercise has been proven to, just getting your body moving, just helps helping with sleep and getting that fresh air.
Yeah, it makes such a huge difference. So I want to talk more about some of the benefits that you've seen with using Sante blends? You feel like your sleep has gotten better and you've been able to use it to, you said something about like thoughts. It helps if you're having like incessant thoughts. Talk to us more about
Yeah, like
that.
calm the racing thoughts. So yeah, so one of so Sante blends, so there's 8 functional ingredients, and that was intentional. They all work to support GABA, which is your brain's calming neurotransmitter. And essentially, that's what. So alcohol also works on GABA, and it helps basically slow down those racing thoughts. So um, these ingredients, they work obviously differently than alcohol, and they don't have obviously like the toxins in them. However, they do work in that on that same mechanism. So one of the biggest benefits of this product is calming those racing thoughts, bringing your nervous system into balance, and just helping you feel that sense of calm and just relaxation. So that's one of the biggest proven benefits to these 8 ingredients.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I love that.
I mean, technically it's a dietary supplement, but
Sure.
but it's a functional drink mix that can be added into any drink, and gives you a sense of unwind and relaxation.
Yeah. Okay. Because this is like a lot of people did dry January and some
Mhm.
people are keeping it going, and people love mocktails. It's like you said, it's a replacement and they want something that's fun and it's not just water. It's like if you're going from like drinking fun cocktails and wine all the time to doing a dry January or taking some time off alcohol. A lot of people that I've talked to stop drinking alcohol because they are on a weight loss journey. And
Yes.
that alcohol does not serve fat loss. It is not very good for fat loss. And so they're like, okay, but I still want something fun and special. Have your customers used your product in any other type of drinks or mocktails? Or, I mean, I love the cider idea. That sounds so
Yes.
good.
So absolutely. So the great thing about Sante blends is that it's unflavored, so it can be added to anything. So if you like, I mean, I recommend a flavor just because there's a slight, I would say, like a bitter flavor to the natural ingredients that we've put in a bitter masker to make that muted a little bit. However, it lends itself well to like a flavor that can be that you can enjoy alongside that taste. But people mix it with mocktails, tea, as I mentioned, lemonade, iced tea, Arnold Palmer. I do a lot. But we have actually a selection of mocktails that are on our website that just lend themselves really well with the product. We have like a bee's knees, or we call it bee's ease. There's a hot toddy on there, which is also one of my favorite drinks that is warm, of course, or hot. That it can go well with the drink. But yes, it can be added to anything that you already love, including that mocktail. And this product has no added sugar, no added sweetener, no added coloring, so it's very clean and it can just be added. It has less than 5 calories, so it's really a great way to just add a functional benefit to something that you already love drinking.
I love that because there are a lot of things that you can have as an alternative, and that's great and they taste good. But I love the fact that you're adding so many health benefits and then doing that every single night and feeling the benefits from all of the calming, which is so important. I feel like everybody's so stressed out.
Yes,
Everybody's
a lot to be
really,
stressed out these
there's
days.
so much to be stressed out about. Everybody's like online way too much and it's affecting everybody. It's no wonder people grab for, the alcohol because it's like they don't want to be at, they just want to turn it off a little bit. But I
Yeah.
love that you can do something that kind of helps do that in such a natural, safe, and beneficial way. Like I love
Mhm.
adding in benefits and not just drinking something to drink it. I feel
Yeah.
like that is such an important piece. I feel like because it's cold right now, there's so many warm drinks that would be like, I love the hot toddy idea. And then I feel like this would be great with just like sparkling water, like those flavored seltzers would be
Totally.
for.
Yes. Yes. I mean, it really, that's one of the benefits. It's so versatile. And it can really be, added into anything that you really love drinking. So,
So tell us, is there anything else that you want to tell us about the product that we haven't touched on? Like anything else that our listeners should know about it?
Um, I think I talked about, the effects to your mood and relaxation, sleep, the versatility. It's also portable. It comes in single serve stick packet. So that's another thing, that it's really easy to take on the go. I don't think I really touched upon that, but it comes in. I actually have a pack right here. So we have two sizes, a 6-pack and then a larger 20-pack, but it's so easy just to put it in your purse, your pocket. And then there's little stick packs that can also be taken individually out, and just, add it into your pocket or your purse or wherever. And yeah, so it's very versatile. And yeah, I think I touched upon all the, the main points, but yeah, do you have any other questions about it?
No, I really love the packaging. The packaging is
Thank you.
amazing. And I think it's such a good thing to take on a trip, especially if you're going to be somewhere where, you never sleep as good when you're not at home. Instead of, getting into the room, I could just see that would be such a nice thing to do before you can, hit the hay. So
Totally. And also even flying. I mean, a lot of people have like flying anxiety. So be able to, I don't want to say it's TSA approved, but it's, there's no restrictions around it. So you can take it on a plane and mix it into, a drink on the plane, and just, help calm those nerves. So yes, it's a great travel product as well.
that's a really good tip. I'm actually going on a trip in a few months and I'm taking it. I'm definitely going to take it.
Awesome. Where are you going?
Costa Rica.
Oh, fun. Nice. Yes. And also with these, locations, you never know what they have in terms of non-alcoholic options. I think it's becoming even more available in the US, but if you want something that doesn't feel like just, a juice or something that feels a little bit special, you can order a drink and then add this in, and you feel like a gentle buzz and then a sense of relaxation. So
that's awesome. Yeah. I love it. Well, everybody's going to want to check this out. So please tell us where we can find the product, and then I'll make sure to link all of this information in the show notes for everyone.
Awesome. So you can find the product at santeblends.com, and we can also offer a discount to your listeners. So we can offer Glow 25 for 25% off your purchase.
Okay, awesome. That's so generous. So I will link the link where you can go to buy, and then don't forget to put in the code when you guys check out. That's a really generous discount. So thank you so much. And thank you for sharing with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great speaking with you.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Please subscribe and review so we can reach more people who want to learn to glow alongside us. See you next time.